Good morning. My name is Frank Murray. I am President and CEO of Cherokee Group Solutions here in Kansas City. As you can see, the contact information that I have posted on the screen here. Please make note of my email address and my phone number. If you want to follow up after the presentation, I'd be more than willing to sit down and discuss further with you about what we're ready to show in regarding to CapSol. So first of all, I want to talk a little bit about who we are and what we do. Cherokee Group Solutions was really formed to support commercial business and government along with their entities. And we're a minority-owned company. I am Native American Indian Cherokee by trade. And what we decided to do was work with the tribal communities and as well as their business entities in supporting their efforts in leveraging technology. We are a Microsoft partner. We deliver a wide variety of advanced technology solutions either in the cloud or on premises. We have a team to deliver and support organizations now and into the future. Recently, we were engaged with an organization in assisting them to immediately fulfill a solution, which was the ability to listen to social media conversations. With our team, we could deliver a solution to help support law enforcement and universities by leveraging a product which I'm going to show you called CapSol. As part of the data initiative, our business in any industry, the key to success is knowing your audience. So social media makes this possible. The easier to accomplish that was the tools like CapSol. So now you can monitor social media traffic, structured data feeds, and unstructured data feeds to identify keywords you're specifically looking for. Now take that information and process it through our very sophisticated algorithms. CapSol helps identify potential threats and allow you to take action and be proactive in those results. So that's basically what we do. We're a Microsoft partner, and we do a lot of work within the SharePoint platform. But one of our key initiatives is to develop applications outside of that that support that environment as well, such as possible Title 31, and in this case, CapSol. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and kind of walk through the technology offering in 3 different environments. And if you want to follow up with me, please do. I'm more than willing to take the time out to discuss further on what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and close this real quick. And so as you'll see here, there's 3 tabs that I have open. What we wanted to do was provide a couple different presentations so you can get a feel for how we're using CapSol, or how some of our potential customers that are testing it right now are leveraging CapSol in a way that benefits them, that brings an enormous value. So if you think about all and we're talking specifically law enforcement here, the terrorist attacks that have recently occurred here, such as the Ohio State car ramming, the Orlando nightclub shooting, the Chattanooga shootings back in 2015, the Boston Marathon bombing, which 5 were killed and 280 were hurt. The list goes on and on and on, and obviously we can't forget about 9/11, which 3,000 people had lost their lives and more than 6,000 people were injured. There's many more incidents like this, but the reason why I pointed that out, in most cases, the criminal activity, the criminal mind behind this, were actually tweeting and posting what their intentions were all along. It's just we were not listening. And to have the capability to listen to these keywords that we can identify and, again, run them through our algorithms will determine the level of threat, will allow you to be proactive in preventing these incidents from ever occurring again. So let's take a look at Drake University. So Drake, and I'm working with Scott Law out there, who's been a big fan of what we're doing. He's been just a wealth of knowledge in helping us along the way in working towards really a product that's going to bring an enormous value to the university. And hopefully they never have to use it, but save lives. So when you look at a dashboard, and we're pulling in content from social media, and right now what we're doing is we're just pulling it from Twitter. So the reason why we did that was because, one, Twitter is open source, it's open data. We have easy access to that information. It's just how do you want to grab it? So it's just a matter of listening to those keywords and then, again, running it through our algorithms that determine what the outcome was going to be. So when you look at our dashboard, you're going to see a couple things. You're going to see alerts, incident trend, and incident report. And then down below, you're going to have the Twitter logs that are coming in. Normally, when this was up and running live, you'll see feeds coming in as they're occurring. So as soon as somebody hits send, it has a word Drake tied to it, it's going to appear here. So what you have here right now, we're listening to Drake, assault, fire, kill, rape, shooting, and suicide. These are what we call KPIs, or key performance indicators. But I can go back and I can drill out to a year, or I can drill into the last 24 hours. I can look at incident reports by last year, which is a rolling calendar year, so it's going to measure all the information that it accumulated during a period of time. So for an example, I can hover over Drake in October. There were 765 tweets related to Drake in October. One of the key ingredients, though, of our product is the geo-mapping capability. So as you can see here, I have a map of 2 tweets that came in based in and around Des Moines. And if I hover over that, I can click on it and it says Drake. So obviously I'm listening for the word Drake. I'm not associating it with anything. I'm just saying, hey, anything out there, Drake, bring it in. Yeah, you think I need you, but I don't. Hashtag or @ Drake. So, here's your handle name, date, time, stamp. So we've got this information that's coming in that we can evaluate and determine, what does this really mean? I also can go back, as you can see here, is I can look at the last 2 weeks, the last month, the last year, the last 100 tweets, and all tweets, right? So if I want to go back and say, I don't know, let's look at last month. So if I look at last month, you see that we have the cluster marks. So in the right-hand corner here, you'll see heat map, cluster marks, and then marks only. But I can drill down into this. And here's Des Moines with 23. So we know that the University of Drake is right here, right? So there it is. Now I can go over here to the Wells Fargo Arena, and I can click on that, and it's going to pull up everything that was associated in that cluster mark of what we're listening for. So you go shooting, Drake, at Drake University. So we're picking up all this information with the content associated with the username, with the date, time stamp, and the location. And all this information is coming in, and it would be coming in feeding in at real time. And of course, down you have your rolling logs here as well. Now, what's also really critical on this is the ability to have historic information. So not only do you have real-time information coming at you from all different angles, but now we can start looking at all the data that you've accumulated all the way from the past to now. So if you have data silos that are required for reporting and based for the Clarity Act for supporting on the university campuses, we can integrate that data store and bring that into CapSol as part of your reporting mechanism. So you got export to PDF and export to Excel. You have the ability to filter on anything that you want. So for an example, on the tweet text, I can go in here and I can filter for a particular word that contains a word that I'm searching for in the content itself. I can also scroll over and you'll see that I have additional filters for username, screen name, latitude, longitude, and places. Now, CapSol, in a nutshell, that's pretty much it. But the idea here is listening to those keywords and identifying the type of threat that is. If it is a high-level threat, it's going to make it known. And then at that point in time, what separates us from everybody else is that we have the ability to push that content out to anybody that sees fit to need it. So if I'm a police officer sitting in a car, I have my Surface tablet sitting there, I can have that information pushed out to that device so that they're aware that there's a potential threat. And I can give them the coordinates of the location. And on top of that, if they have a smartphone or a BlackBerry, if they're on foot, guess what? I can push that information out to those devices as well. A little bit different from what we're looking at from our competitors because we're one step ahead of them in the way that we can actually solidify that information, verify the facts, the truth of the information, and get that information out to who really needs it in a timely manner. Now, from an installation standpoint, it's really pretty straightforward. You have 2 ways you could do it. We could host it, or it could be on premises. And then from an administration standpoint, are you an admin or are you an end user? It's really not that difficult. We want to keep it simple, right? So if you're an admin, you're going to have access to keywords. So I can go in here and I can look at the keywords that I'm reviewing, and maybe I want to add a keyword such as, I don't know, protest. Let's go with protest. So let's go ahead and put protest in there, and I want to add up. Let's put, I don't know, swimming, just to put a word in there. So we put swimming, we can add to the grid, we can show the results, and we can add it to keyword. I can assign it to the group, and there it is. Swimming, where is it? The dashboard. Okay, so there's swimming right there, right? So I've added it to it, so now I'm monitoring swimming, and there's swimming over on the incident report. I don't know why. Oh, I wonder. There it is. So if I want to delete it now, I can delete it, and I can go back to the dashboard, and it's now removed. So that's Drake in a nutshell on how they're leveraging this technology. Keep in mind, we can access any social media platform there is. We know that a lot of universities use Yik Yak. We can fairly easily access that API, pull the data in just like we're doing for Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, you name it, we can do it. So that's what I wanted to show you with the university. Now let's talk about what we're doing for the NYPD. So we've been kind of going back and forth with the NYPD for some time, collaborating on the idea of, hey, bring our product in, let's test it. You got 123 precincts there in New York City. We can actually build the barriers of CapSol and how it listens to around each precinct district. So we can define that to that specific level. So we're listening only what's going on in this precinct, right? So there's 123 of them. We can listen and separate them all out as individual precincts and how CapSol is listening to each one. That's supplying that data back to the proper people so they know what's going on at all times. So one of their biggest challenges right now is gang members that are posting events to occur on their Facebook site. So the idea is that you have to like somebody on Facebook to be able to monitor that activity. And in some cases with this, the reason why we wanted to work with law enforcement is A, they can get a warrant, or B, we can just screen scrape it so that we can modify it and then listen for any changes that occur on their site and then send off a flag and say, hey, this site had changed. Go out and take a look at it. So anyway, what we're looking at here on the dashboard for the NYPD is basically the same. You'll see it pretty familiar. Assault, fire, kill, rape, suicide. Again, I can do basically the same thing as I did with Drake. I can drill out. I can drill in. I can look at incident trends. I can even take the incident trends and I can look at last month, or I can look at last 2 weeks. I can look at incident report again, and this is a rolling 12 months, and you have your tweet log streaming down below. And in the map view for New York, this one's a little bit more interesting. I think you'll find this kind of fascinating here. As you can see, I have last week I'm looking at. I can go back to last year. This may take a minute to populate because it's a lot of data coming in. And then you also, if you notice up here in the right-hand corner, you have heat map, you have marks only, which, at that point in time, if I want to look at individual marks, I can do that. But I like the cluster, because what the cluster does is it tells me the amount of tweets that are coming in a specific area that I'm looking for, such as like maybe Brooklyn, right? So if I'm looking at Brooklyn, there's 1,335 tweets that came in. That was last year, but what about the last 24 hours? So if I do the last 24 hours, now you can see that, it's only 34. So if I click on that, now I'm looking at New York, New York, New York, assault, fire, fire, kill. These are all keywords that we're listening for. So one of the things that you see this when you have like the word assault, you have the actual contact name of the individual that was tweeting it. You have the context that's associated with it. You have the date, time stamp, and the location, which is Brooklyn. Again, very important information. So now you get the streaming logs that are coming in that are associated with the keywords with the content. Same as before, you have your standard reporting mechanism that you're looking at as well. I can filter on all this as we've discussed. And again, you have access to keywords if you're an admin to add those keywords or not. Now, to show you the flexibility of our product, because I've been in the tribal community for some time, and I've been working with a lot of the casinos throughout North America, what we also wanted to do was prove the fact that our product is very flexible, that it can fit any environment. So if you have a product or service that you want to sell, CapSol would be able to track down all the information that's being tweeted about you, or blogged about you, or posted about you. So you can take a look at that information and then retweet, direct marketing, instant marketing, I should say, real time. The idea of being able to promote your services and solutions, be able to drive traffic, because we're in the entertainment business as well. We have a Title 31 solution that we just launched 3 months ago, and we're tying CapSol to it to know your customers. So the idea now behind CapSol here at this point with this particular product, or this particular solution, I should say, is I'm listening to casinos. I'm listening for entertainment and hospitality. I want to know what was been going on over the last month or maybe last year. But I want to be able to get some data results out of it. I also want to see those streaming logs that are coming in and what they're saying about, gaming, slot machines, table games, poker tournaments, things of that nature. I can even break it down even more. If you look at your incident report over here, you'll see that. So I've broken it down by what we call tree. So in casino, under casinos, you see here, you'll see it broken down by a tree. So you have Hard Rock, Osage, River Spirit, which are casinos in Oklahoma. So if I'm looking at that, now I want to know what they're saying specifically about Hard Rock, what they're saying about Osage, what they're saying about River Spirit. This is important because now if somebody's tweeting out about an activity or event that's happening, let's say at Osage Casino, and I'm Hard Rock and I'm listening, might be interesting to know what they're doing, right? They're driving traffic. How do we compete with that? Now you look at the map view, and pretty soon you're going to see the same thing incidents. So I got all the locations that are coming in and around Tulsa, and I want to look at Broken Arrow, but maybe I want to look at the last 24 hours. So in Broken Arrow there was 19, and I click on that, you'll see a lot of it's going to be hospitality. Okay? The reports are going to be the same. Now I can run reports. I can look at this. I have all their username. I have their screen name. I know where they're coming from. I know their location. This is really powerful information that marketing can leverage, or even your customer service group can leverage. Can you imagine somebody sitting in a restaurant that has been sitting there for 20 minutes and has yet to be serviced on, and all of a sudden he pulls out his smartphone and starts tweeting about how poor the service is? Within seconds of him sending that, you would have been notified that there's an incident at your restaurant. That's not in very good favor of who you are and what you are. Your brand name is everything at that point. So protecting that image is critical. Being able to respond within seconds, I think, would turn a customer into a bad customer to a good customer. So you still have the same ability here with keywords. I can go in and add keywords if I want. But as you can see, we've got a lot of different information here that we're looking at. So this is really a powerful tool for just about anyone to use. If there's any questions in related to how we're doing this, or if you want to know the implementation or the cost structure on this, really it's pretty straightforward. Again, we want to keep everything simple. This is a product that has a right to use. So with that, it would be a monthly charge with a one-time setup fee. And really the setup fee is more or less, what are we fencing, right? What are we listening for in the keywords? How do you want the algorithms to read those individual keywords or KPIs? And what is the information that you want to respond to? So there's a lot of things that we discuss with you first before we go ahead and put this out there. But for us to set it up, get it tested, start collecting data, you're talking in a couple of days. then you monitor the situation. It'll alert you when alerts come up. We can automate the entire process as well towards pushing the information to the proper people. So for an example, in the casino, if I have a GM and a floor manager that are walking on the floor that have their smartphones with them and something occurs on the floor that you need to take action on, like maybe a SAR report needs to be done or there's suspicious activity that's occurring, you can have that information from CapSol, push that directly to your smartphone and allow you to take action immediately. Again, be proactive. So that's CapSol in a nutshell. 3 different environments: education, law enforcement, and in this particular case, the entertainment sector with casinos. Again, my name is Frank Murray. I'm with Cherokee Group Solutions, and if you need me, give me a call, 913-787-2951. Thank you, and have a good day.